Attraction isn't about chasing, it's about presence. Most men sabotage their chances by seeking validation instead of cultivating true confidence. Women are drawn to men with self-worth, not those begging for attention. In this video, we'll reveal the key mindset shifts that make you irresistible, even to those who seem indifferent. Stop pursuing. Start attracting. Let's start. The first step. Detach from the need for her approval. The quickest way to lose a woman's interest is by centering your actions around winning her favor. Too many men believe they must tailor their words, adjust their behavior, or avoid any misstep to remain in her good graces. But this only exposes insecurity. The moment you make her validation your priority, you surrender control of the dynamic, and with that, attraction fades. Women are inherently drawn to men who remain unaffected by external judgment, because confidence is magnetic. When you place her opinion above your own, you project weakness, not value. Shift your focus. Elevate yourself rather than seeking her validation. You'll be surprised at how her perception changes when you stop needing approval. This doesn't mean being dismissive or indifferent. It means maintaining emotional independence. If you're on a date, don't overanalyze her every reaction. If she laughs, great. If she doesn't, it doesn't matter. Be so self-assured that her responses, or lack thereof, don't dictate your state of mind. Consider this. If she stops responding to your messages, most men panic, double text, or search for what went wrong. Instead, you send your message and go about your day. If she eventually replies saying she was busy, your response is simple. No worries, I figured you'd get back when you could. Then you either change the subject or conclude the conversation on your terms. This signals that while you enjoy her presence, you do not rely on it for fulfillment. And that shift intrigues her. When you detach from the outcome, you become the man who stands out. Women are drawn to the challenge, to the man who remains composed and unshaken. The less you seek to win her over, the more she finds herself wanting to earn a place in your world. The next step. One of the biggest mistakes men make is believing they need to be the perfect guy to capture a woman's interest. They try to say the right things, act in the right way, and become everything they assume she wants. But here's the truth. Perfection isn't just impossible, it's unappealing. Women don't seek flawless men. They're drawn to those who are real, confident, and completely at ease with themselves. No one is perfect, and the sooner you accept that, the better. Trying to appear flawless is exhausting, and people can sense when you're putting on an act. Instead of making you look impressive, it makes you look insecure and inauthentic. If you're constantly adjusting your behavior, filtering your words, and bending over backward to meet an idealized standard, you're only pushing her away. The real key to attraction is authenticity. You don't need to have all the answers, say all the right things, or present yourself as the perfect gentleman at all times. What matters is that you're genuine and unapologetically yourself. Stop shaping yourself into what you think she wants, and start showing her who you actually are. Flaws and all. The truth is, you'll never measure up to some unrealistic ideal, and even if you could, it wouldn't create the kind of real connection that lasts. Women aren't drawn to the guy who's trying too hard. They're drawn to the one who's secure in his own skin, even when he's imperfect. The focus should be on becoming the best version of yourself, not a manufactured version of someone else. When you drop the pressure to be perfect, your real personality emerges, and that's what makes you stand out. Women respect men who embrace their flaws because it signals confidence. They're not hiding anything. They're simply being themselves. They're not desperate to impress, they're just living in their truth. That's what makes a man attractive. So stop chasing perfection. Be the man who owns who he is, imperfections and all. That's what truly makes you irresistible. The third step. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits a man can have, but most get it wrong by trying to convince others they have it. Talking about confidence isn't the same as embodying it. Women don't care about your claims of self-assurance. They care about how they feel when they're around you. Look at truly confident men. They don't brag, they don't seek validation, and they don't try to prove anything. They simply exist with presence. They move with purpose, stand tall, and speak with clarity. That kind of confidence is magnetic. It's not something you fake, it comes from within. True confidence isn't about showing off or impressing others. It's quiet, effortless, and rooted in self-worth. When you know your value, you don't need to convince anyone else of it. The problem is that many men mistake arrogance for confidence. Arrogance is loud, attention-seeking, and rooted in insecurity. Confidence, on the other hand, doesn't demand recognition. It simply exists. A truly confident man doesn't need external validation because he's secure in himself. This makes him stand out in a world where most people are trying too hard to prove something. Confidence isn't just about how you talk or act. It's in your energy, your posture, the way you listen, and how you carry yourself. When you exude real confidence, you send a silent message that you value yourself, and that's irresistible. The key is to stop proving and start being. When you detach from the need for validation and focus on being secure in who you are, attraction follows naturally. Women will notice without you having to say a word. The next step. One of the biggest mistakes men make is failing to establish and enforce boundaries. Too many sacrifice their own comfort, time, and values just to please a woman, thinking it will earn her affection. It won't. It only makes you look weak. Women don't respect men who can't stand up for themselves, and without respect, attraction fades. Setting boundaries isn't about control, it's about self-respect. It means knowing what you will and won't tolerate, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of life. If you allow a woman to disregard your time or treat you as an afterthought, she'll quickly lose interest. Why? Because she's looking for a man, not a doormat. Boundaries aren't about telling her no, they're about saying yes to yourself. They show that you value yourself, your time, and your principles. A man with strong boundaries makes it clear that he's not desperate for approval. He has standards, and if she can't meet them, he's willing to walk away. Consider this. If a woman repeatedly cancels plans at the last minute, the typical guy will tolerate it, hoping she'll eventually take him seriously. But a man with boundaries won't accept being treated as an option. If she cancels again, he doesn't get angry or beg for her attention. He simply says, "I get that things come up, but if you're not sure you can commit, let's not make plans until you are." This isn't about confrontation, it's about self-respect. He's making it clear that his time is valuable and won't be wasted. And here's what happens. She either adjusts her behavior and starts respecting his time, or she doesn't, and he moves on. Either way, he wins because he's demonstrated that he values himself. The paradox is that when you set firm boundaries, you become even more attractive. A man who isn't afraid to walk away is a man who commands respect. Women are drawn to men who are in control of their lives, not those who bend at every whim just to keep them around. The fifth step. Attraction isn't just about looks or charm, it's about emotional tension. This is the invisible force that keeps a woman thinking about you long after you've left the room. Most men fail at this because they keep interactions safe, predictable, and surface level. But here's the reality. Women don't fall for men who play it safe. If your conversations are overly polite, always agreeable, or just nice, you're forgettable. Emotional tension is what keeps her engaged, intrigued, and slightly off balance in the best way. This isn't about being rude or manipulative, it's about breaking the monotony and making her feel something real. Too many men avoid risks in conversations because they fear awkwardness or rejection. But here's the truth. If she feels nothing around you, she'll move on. Tension comes from contrast, playful teasing, a confident challenge to her opinion, or an unexpected response that disrupts the usual script. These subtle moments of friction, when balanced with warmth, create an energy she can't ignore. Another key? Pacing. Don't rush to fill silences or smooth over every moment of uncertainty. Let it linger. A well-timed pause forces her to process the interaction, to wonder about your thoughts, and in that space, attraction builds. Most men assume women only want to feel happy or entertained, but true attraction comes from experiencing a range of emotions. When you challenge her, surprise her, or make her slightly nervous in a playful way, you create depth. She won't just remember the words you said. She'll remember how you made her feel. Building emotional tension takes confidence and practice, but when done right, it makes you impossible to ignore. So stop being predictable. Be bold, be dynamic, and most importantly, be someone who sparks real emotions. That's what makes you unforgettable. The next step. Most men make themselves too easy to figure out. They lay out their entire life story within the first few conversations, thinking it makes them more relatable. But in reality, it kills attraction. When you reveal everything up front, you eliminate mystery. And without mystery, there's no curiosity. Women are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand. If you're predictable, overly transparent, or constantly available, there's nothing left for her to wonder about. That intrigue fades before it even has a chance to build. If you're always texting, "What are you doing?" or updating her on every little thing in your life, you're making yourself too accessible. Instead, create space for curiosity to grow. Don't always answer questions in full. Leave gaps that make her imagination fill in the blanks. If she asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" don't lay out every detail like a travel itinerary. A simple, "We're got a few interesting things planned, I'll tell you about it later," keeps her intrigued. She starts thinking about you more, wondering about what you're up to. That's the key. Curiosity is what keeps people engaged. Think about the movies or books that captivate you. It's the twists, the unanswered questions, the suspense that make them compelling. Attraction works the same way. If she can't fully predict you, she'll want to dig deeper. But let's be clear. This isn't about playing mind games or being evasive. It's about maintaining a sense of unpredictability while remaining authentic. You don't have to fake anything. Just stop oversharing and trying too hard to impress. When you create an air of mystery, the dynamic shifts. Instead of you constantly thinking about her, she starts thinking about you. So stop making yourself an open book. Be a little unpredictable. Let her work to figure you out. That's how you keep her interest alive. The seventh step. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in attraction, yet most men overlook it. They talk too much, rush to fill every pause, and over-explain themselves, mistaking constant communication for connection. But here's the reality. Over-communication doesn't make you seem confident. It makes you seem needy. Women can sense when a man is uncomfortable with silence, and that discomfort signals insecurity. A man who embraces silence, on the other hand, exudes composure and self-assurance. He doesn't feel the need to prove himself with words. His presence alone speaks for him. True confidence isn't in endless chatter. It's in the ability to say nothing and remain unshaken. When a woman pulls back or doesn't reply to a message right away, the weak instinct is to follow up, ask what's wrong, or seek reassurance. The strong response? Do nothing. Let the silence create space. That moment of uncertainty makes her wonder about you, and in that wondering, attraction grows. Silence is just as powerful during conflict. Instead of rushing to defend yourself or explain, pause. Let her words linger. That stillness forces her to reflect and shows that you're not easily rattled. The ability to hold your ground in silence communicates strength far more than any argument ever could. Beyond conversations, silence is also about presence. You don't need to entertain her every moment or keep the energy high. The ability to sit together in a quiet moment without discomfort builds an intimacy deeper than words. Few connections reach that level, and when they do, they leave a lasting impact. Mastering silence isn't about being distant. It's about being so secure in yourself that you don't need to fill the void with words just to feel in control. Women notice this. It's a quiet but undeniable signal that you're a man who doesn't seek approval. You are the approval. The next step. Chasing a woman is the fastest way to make her lose interest. No one enjoys being smothered by someone desperate for attention. It's overwhelming and, frankly, unattractive. When you chase, you signal that you have no options, and nothing kills attraction faster Instead of running after her, shift your focus to creating mystery. Women are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand. If you're always available, always initiating, and always eager to please, there's no challenge, no tension. She already knows she has you. And with that certainty, excitement fades. Creating mystery isn't about playing games or being dishonest. It's about leaving space for curiosity to build. Stop oversharing every detail of your life. If she asks how your day was, don't unload a full itinerary. Keep it brief, intriguing. A simple, "It's been an interesting day, I'll tell you about it sometime," is enough to spark curiosity. Now she's thinking about you. Another way to create mystery is to have a life that doesn't revolve around her. Prioritize your passions, your friendships, your goals. When you're not constantly available, she starts to wonder where you are, what you're doing, and who you're with. Suddenly, you're not predictable anymore, and that makes you far more intriguing. The power of mystery is that it allows her imagination to fill in the blanks. And when you aren't always explaining yourself or seeking her approval, she starts investing more mental energy into figuring you out. That's how attraction builds. Many men mistakenly believe attraction is just about what's visible or spoken, but much of it comes from what's felt. When you stop chasing and create an air of intrigue, you trigger an emotional pull she can't ignore. She starts wanting to uncover more about you. The most attractive men are those who are secure in themselves, who don't need to prove their worth or constantly seek validation. So stop chasing. Become the man she wants to figure out. That's how you set yourself apart. The 9-step. If you want to attract any woman, especially one who seems uninterested, you need to stop making her the center of your world and start focusing on your own value. Most men pour all their energy into trying to impress a woman rather than improving themselves. But here's the reality. A woman won't value you if you don't first value yourself. Attraction isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about becoming the kind of man who stands out effortlessly. This doesn't mean faking confidence or trying to appear perfect. It means investing in yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally to the point where your presence alone commands attention. When you prioritize your growth, you naturally become the man who doesn't need to chase, and women notice that. Too many men obsess over what a woman wants instead of asking themselves, "What do I bring to the table?" Are you building a meaningful career or just coasting? Do you have passions, hobbies, and a purpose? Or is your life empty without her? Are you working on your fitness or just talking about it? A high-value man is constantly leveling up in every area of his life. And when you do that, attraction follows. Consider this. If you're interested in a woman who seems distant, the average guy would bombard her with messages, try to force plans, and wait around hoping for her attention. But a man who values himself does the opposite. Instead of chasing, he invests in himself. He starts hitting the gym, dressing sharper, learning new skills, or pursuing a passion. A few weeks later, she notices. Maybe you post about your progress, or she hears about your new hobby in passing. Suddenly, she's asking questions. "You've been busy lately, huh? What's new?" She's intrigued because you've shown that your life is fulfilling, with or without her. And that's the turning point. When you focus on your own value, the entire dynamic shifts. You stop chasing and she starts chasing you. A man who is committed to his own growth, who exudes purpose and confidence, is impossible to ignore. So stop wasting time trying to convince her. Invest in yourself. When you become the kind of man who naturally commands attention, the results will speak for themselves. The final step, the most powerful thing you can do to attract a woman, is to be willing to walk away. Most men fail at this because they attach their self-worth to a woman's attention, becoming desperate in the process. But desperation isn't attractive. It's a sign of weakness. The strongest men understand that their value doesn't come from any one person's approval. If a woman isn't showing you respect, effort, or interest, you don't chase. You step back. This isn't about playing games or being rude. It's about recognizing your own worth and refusing to waste time on someone who isn't equally invested. Too many men cling to situations out of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being alone, fear of losing her. But that fear makes you weak. Now imagine the opposite. A woman isn't giving you the attention or effort you deserve. Instead of pleading for her recognition, you simply detach. You stop trying to prove your worth, you stop chasing, and you let her come to you, or not. That shift is incredibly powerful. It signals that you're not afraid to lose her, and that kind of confidence is magnetic. Women respect men who have the discipline to walk away when a situation isn't serving them. When you stand firm in your value, you put her in a position where she either steps up or lets you go. Either way, you win. If she comes back, it's because she recognizes what she lost. If she doesn't, you've saved yourself from wasting time on someone who wasn't the right fit. Stop chasing. Stop compromising your standards. The key to attraction isn't making her the prize, it's becoming the man she wants to pursue. The hard truth? If you feel like you have to fight for her attention, you are the problem. It's not about her playing hard to get or being difficult. It's about you failing to recognize your own value. The moment you stop prioritizing her over your self-respect, everything changes. The real prize isn't her. It's becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to beg for anyone's time or affection. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever found yourself chasing a woman who didn't deserve it? Drop your stories in the comments. Let's build this conversation together. I'll be reading every comment, and I may even reach out to some of you personally. Let's grow together. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.